record dealing with this issue and its trade implications as well. Most of the legislation introduced in last Congress to impose a cap-and-trade scheme on the U.S. include provisions to impose additional tariffs on imports from countries that don't have similar policies. This has significant trade implications for the United States as well as developed and developing countries, which could result in violations of WTO obligations or inviting retaliatory measures. And my belief, Mr. Chairman, is these consequences deserve a thorough and comprehensive examination by the committee. And I would submit that for the record. Mr. Haynes, very quickly, how do you measure the amount of carbon? You're calling on a carbon tax on imports from other countries. How big would that tax be? How do you measure what the amount of carbon in an import?
Well, the tax has to be large enough to affect people's decisions. And I gave you an example of quite a large tax. And you would impose a presumptive import duty on any country that does not have comparable tax rate. And that would allow them, if they could show that their manufacturing did not use carbon, then you would allow them that option of proving that, and then you remove that duty. But otherwise, you assume that the standard amount of carbon that's used in making that product has been used in their country. So it's an easy way to make this international. While cap and trade, we negotiated 10 years and couldn't get everybody to agree to Kyoto Protocol. But if you have a tax, all you need is the few major countries to agree to this, and then they'll say, we'll put an import duty on you if you don't have a similar tax. And very quickly they will realize, well, gee, you're collecting the money instead of us. Mm-hmm. So they'll put a tax on it. So that's the fastest way.
Would the EU or Australia that has cap and trade schemes, would they be excluded from this carbon tax or included?
A cap and trade, cap can be included amongst a system that has a tax and dividend. You can have internal to that some limited taxes, caps in trade on a given industry, for example.
Right. Thanks, Dr. And I'd like to submit this for the record, Chairman.
So ordered.